Today, I want to talk about a moment that can feel really challenging as a parent. Your teen says something like, I don't want to be here anymore. And even though that hits hard and everything inside of you feels like it's on fire, you're able to slow down. You take a breath, you do a U turn, and you connect with yourself inside. And you say something like, I hear you. Keep going, sweetie. Tell me all about it. And then they shut down. They say, never mind, forget it, I'm fine. And you're left sitting with the thoughts of like, wait, did I say something wrong? And what do I do now? Right? Well, hello, my friends. I'm so glad you're here. This is Self-Led Parenting Live, a space where we explore what it looks like to stay connected to ourselves and our children, especially in the moments that feel most overwhelming and confusing for us as parents. My name is Jacqueline Long, and I am a licensed marriage and family therapist with over 20 years of experience supporting children, teens, parents, and families. And I work alongside a wonderful group of therapists at Mindful Child and Family Therapy. And today we're talking about something that can feel really disconcerting as a parent. When your child or teen starts to open up about something really painful and potentially frightening, and then closes right back down. First, I want to say, if that's happening in your family, you're not necessarily doing anything wrong, but you are deserving of support because those moments are hard. You're let in, and then you're shut out. Woo! That's really hard as a parent. And so, just for a moment, please check inside. And if this topic ends up activating something in you at any point, just see if you can take a moment. You might need to pause the video or turn it off altogether. But if it feels okay enough to stay with this, just notice that there's no need to change anything. Just notice. Notice what's happening inside. You can notice that you're here and I'm here with you. And as always, if any questions come up for you during our conversation, you can drop them in the chat. I'd be honored to try to address them this week or next week. So, in last week's episode, we talked about how to respond when your teen does say something like, I don't want to be here anymore. Or maybe you notice that they've been hurting themselves, self-harming. And we talked about slowing down, staying connected to yourself, and offering simple, empathic responses like, I hear you. That makes sense, sweetie. And offering words of connection like, I'm right here with you. We also talked about assessing if there's any imminent plan or intent, then you'd want to go to your nearest emergency center or call 988 if you're in the United States. And we might talk about that more next week, how to assess that. But what we didn't talk about is this. What happens when you say all of that in a calm, connected, grounded place, and they will shut down? This is actually common. Yes, my friends, it's not just you. This happens to parents everywhere, and it can bring up a whole wave of feelings inside of you as the parent. Confusion, self-doubt, frustration, a sense of failure, and quite often a deep sense of rejection. Like, why did they stop talking to me? Did I say something wrong? Should I just push them to keep going? Why don't they feel safe talking to me? What am I doing wrong? And this is the moment where our system is most likely to get totally overtaken by our own activated parts. Our worried ones or our wounded ones will grab the mic. They'll take over the internal control panel. They'll take hold of the wheel of the ship of ourself. And inner turmoil will likely start to escalate again, making it hard for us to think, making it hard for us to stay connected to ourselves, making it hard for us to stay connected to our kid, which is what they need the most. Our kids need to sense our ability to stay connected to them, even when they push us away, especially when they push us away. Our kids need to sense our ability to show our resilience in the face of their adversity. Our voice often becomes their own inner voice. So let's slow this down together. And let's look at what can happen inside of you and inside of me in those kinds of moments. And I'm going to introduce my friends from the inside out. So let's say a worried part comes up and blends with you and takes the mic and says inside, no, 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 don't shut down. This is serious. We need them to keep talking. So that's one part of us that might come up. A frustrated part might come up blaming them. Why does she always do that? She's so dang rigid. She just opens up and she shuts down. She's just trying to manipulate us. Don't let her do that. A very common one. Or we might feel a sense of self-blame and self-criticism. I'm going to put this one kind of up and back behind me. You messed this up. You said it all wrong again. It's all your fault, right? And something that's important to remember in this model is that all of those parts make so much sense. They care deeply about your child. They care deeply about you. They're trying to help your system the best way they know how. In internal family systems, or IFS, we say that there are no bad parts and that all parts come with good intentions, including your teen's shutting down parts. So here's something really important to keep in mind. When your teen shuts down, most of the time, it's a sign that something inside of them just got activated. There might be parts of them that feel embarrassed or exposed or vulnerable, ashamed. That's very common to feel shame. Maybe they feel unsure if it's safe to keep talking with you. So they pull back, they shut down. Why? Because something inside of them is trying to protect them. And in IFS, we never go anywhere in the system without full permission from all parts. So we don't want to just push past their protectors. So if we keep that in mind, the goal in the moment is no longer, how do I get them to keep talking? That's coming from a part. Instead, if we're exercising more self-leadership, the question becomes, how can I stay steady so they can come back when they're ready? You see that shift? I'm going to say that again. How can I stay steady so they can come back when they're ready? And I'm going to expand on that a little bit. How do I come home to myself, my capital S self, so I can tend to the ones inside of me, all of these different ones, so my kid out there feels safe when they come back to me when they're ready, so I can truly be ready when my kid comes back again. Well, I don't know about you, but I often need to turn to someone to help me to be with all of the different parts of myself that get activated in these kinds of tender moments. So I can truly be there for my kid when he's ready to open up again. That's why at Mindful Child and Family Therapy, we encourage parents to get their own support, especially when their child or teen is in deep pain like that. And we see this again and again in our work with teens. The inner work a parent does deeply benefits a kid in pain. Why? Because we're all connected. But you're probably here still listening because at least some part of you really wants to know what to say or do in these moments. So I'll offer you this and just type anything in the chat so that you can remember this for yourself. Type what resonates for you. In those moments, take time to do a U-turn. Come back home to your capital S self. Find your own center and tend to the activated ones inside of you. I'll share some words with you to say, but it's where the words come from inside of you that matters most. Where this comes from matters more than the words themselves. So in that moment, it helps to remember that less is more. And you might say, it's okay, I know that these things take time. You might say, we don't have to talk about it right now. I'm here whenever you're ready. And then you let the moment breathe. Let them be for a bit. They just told you something really hard. They might need to pace this out. They might need some breathing space of their own. And it helps to remember that inside of us as a parent, when a part of us takes over and tries to pull it out of our kid, it can actually make the shutting down part inside of them stronger because of counter will, because of the parts of them that don't want to feel pressured to do something just to make us, the parents, feel better, just to give us the information that they sense we want or need to feel better, right? These parts of them know that it's not their job to make us feel better by giving us information. So their parts will resist any and all pressure to open up. And rightly so. They'll sense that agenda from us. So when we can stay open and non-pressuring, when we can be patient and also persevere, not disappear, we create the conditions for our kids to come back to us. I do want to say that there will likely be parts of you and me that might carry the burden inside of rejection, and they will likely feel rejected. So we might need to spend some extra time with those more vulnerable ones inside of us, like this. Yeah, I'm right here with you. Yeah, it's bringing up that time when we were left out and pushed out, when we were not spoken to. I hear you, and I'm right here for you. I know we can't listen to our kid right now, but I can be here for you, and you can tell me all about it. And then I might even check in with this one and see if there's anyone that this needs, anything that this one needs from me before I go on with my day. Is there anything that you need from me while we wait to see if our kid might open up a little bit later? Oh, you want a hug? Okay, you can come right here. So this is just an example of something that you might do inside your own self with the wounded one. But that's really hard to do on your own, so you might need some help with that, maybe some help from a professional. And I just want to make this clear. Just because they stopped talking doesn't mean that the moment is lost. Something important still happened. They started to share, and you responded a little differently, more steadily, with less pressure on them. And that matters more than you might think. So I just want to see if any of that stands out for you. I'm going to invite you to write anything in the chat that you want to take away. And I really appreciate some comments here. One person saying pause, breathe, settle the mind. Someone else is saying find your center. Thank you. Thanks for the positive feedback. Yeah. Okay. So next week, we're going to be talking about how to assess for imminent harm or intent. But before we end today, I want to slow this down again and return to what all of this might feel like on the inside of your teen, especially in those moments when they start to open up and then pull back. So here's a letter written from the perspective of a teen in a lot of pain, who has one part that needs help and wants to connect, and another part that's shutting everything down. This letter is called, "When I Stop Talking, Please Don't Give Up on Me." Let me open this letter. Here we go. Dear Mom and Dad, sometimes I start to say something and then I stop. Not because I don't want to talk. I do. I want to talk. I need to talk to someone about it all, but something inside of me gets scared. It feels like I've already said too much, like I've opened a door that I'm not sure I'm ready to walk through. There's a part of me that wants you to understand and another part of me that wants to hide, and those two parts are all meshed up inside. So I shut down. I say, never mind, forget it, I'm fine. But it isn't always about you. It isn't always because you said the wrong thing. It usually happens when something inside of me feels, well, kind of exposed. And I don't know if it's safe to keep going. Yesterday, when I opened up about feeling an impulse to hurt myself, I noticed that you stayed calm. You didn't push. You didn't look at me with worried eyes. You didn't chase me with all of your questions. And something inside of me actually relaxed. I felt more connected to you. I felt less alone. And even though I didn't start talking again right away, it felt good to know that I can shut down and I can feel that you're still there for me, next to me, by my side, that you didn't disappear, that you didn't get overwhelmed, that you didn't make it about you, that you didn't make it about fixing me. All of that matters. That matters more than you know. And then later, last night, when it felt a little safer, I came back to talk. Maybe not in the same way, maybe not the way you wanted, but I came back, right? And I opened up a little more. So when I stop talking, please don't give up on me. Please don't assume the moment's gone. Please don't take it personally. You staying steady is what helps me find my way back. So thanks for being patient with me and for persevering, especially when I push you away. Love, your teen. So let's just take a moment together to let that land. And as we close today, I want to remind you that you don't have to do this perfectly. We're all human here. We're all learning and growing together. As we say in IFS, our children are often our tormentors, and our tormentors are usually our greatest mentors, helping us illuminate the very next step on our own healing journey as a parent, a part of us that needs our attention. And so, if this stirred something inside of you, that's not a problem, that's information. Activation inside isn't a problem, it's an invitation, a trailhead at the beginning of a journey, an invitation to pause, to notice what's inside, and to gently turn towards the parts of you that need your attention. That's the U-turn. And when you bring even a little more warmth and curiosity to your own inner world, it begins to change the relational field between you and your child. And that shift is a gift for your relationship with your child, a gift for generations to come. You'll be handing down an heirloom, a family blessing. So thank you for being here. Thank you for doing some of the most important work in the world. And I'll see you next Tuesday at 12.